Okay, hey, good morning, all. I hope you're all having a blessed day. Today I kind of just want to tell y'all this little message that I wanted to say, and I think this message really caught my eye only because this is something that's really been, I wouldn't say eating at me, but it's something that's been a prevalent thing, and so I was like, why not talk about it? Because I believe this is something that some of us need to recognize and some of us need to understand, because sometimes we can be the source of our delay. I'm gonna just put it like that. I'm not gonna go into details or I'm not going to try to simplify it. I'm gonna just say it just like that. Sometimes we can be the source of our delay. Why? By the end of this, it should probably answer that question, right? So, um, earlier this morning, I'm getting ready for class, and before I get ready for class, I'm going through my phone and checking my mail, because especially when you're on campus, you always want to check the your emails to make sure nothing important has came in. You want to be on your Q's and P's and everything. Um, and so I'm checking my email and everything. And after I get done checking my email, I scroll on TikTok. Now, mind you, I have not been on TikTok really, given the TikTok ban. And I know you probably like, girl, it was only a day. I get it, about a day. But after it came back, I didn't even really care to use it and really social media at all. Um, but this was the first day I actually got on TikTok today since it's been on ban. And so I get to scrolling and I come across this lady. She's talking about she's giving a message, and it was a message for the chosen. Now, mind you, like I said, I'm getting ready for class. I'm in the mood where I'm like, do I really want to go? But it's like that I know I have to go. But I'm gonna still think about, do I really want to go, even though I know I'm gonna get up and get ready and go. So I'm listening to her and I'm like trying to force myself to go back to sleep. So I'm listening to her. I got the phone sitting right here. I'm laying down on my pillow right here and I'm letting it play and I'm listening. And certain words are sticking out to me because these words, the things that she's saying, it really correlates to what I've been thinking for a while now. And so particularly, I'm gonna just pull out a couple things to make it short and sweet because I don't want to expand this into something that doesn't have to be expand beyond comprehension. Um, and so, in some point in her video, she talked about the story of Joseph. Now, if you know the story of Joseph, it starts in Genesis chapter 37. It talks about Joseph, his dream, and how his jealous brothers took him into slavery, or so I said took him, sold him into slavery in Egypt. And so one thing that I pull from that, jealousy and transformation. What do I mean by that? Years later, when they come back face to face with him and don't even recognize him. And so what she said was about appearance. And so she said that she heard the Lord say, I'm going to do such a work on you. I'm going to transform you to where these people aren't going to recognize you. And what the Lord is doing for you is so fresh, authentic, and one of a kind. Now, why did this catch my mind? It caught my mind because this is your testimony. Listen, this is your testimony, right? You're going to be unrecognizable because most of us don't look like what the Lord has brought us out, right? We have encountered trials and errors, setbacks, betrayals, and everything else. But the Lord has brought us out of the place that many people remember us being in. Now, where am I going from this? Now, like I said, appearance. In terms of appearance, there's a transformation. You're not going to look like what you've been through. But the Lord has brought us out of a place that many people remember us being in. And I say this because the Lord is going to transform you, but regardless of that appearance, that transformation, that new look that the Lord is going to bring on you, there are still going to be people that are going to bring up your past, that are going to remember the person you used to be, that is going to remind you of who you used to be, that is going to, you know, they're going to not acknowledge where God has brought you from. And that's why I said, yeah, people are going to remember and bring up the person you used to be, but never acknowledge what the Lord has done in your life and transformed you. People want to see you back in that place you used to be. People will be jealous of the work God is doing in your life, which brings me back to sometimes you have to learn to be quiet. Not everyone needs to know the favor God has over your life. So many people are looking at others in their lives and are wondering why they aren't where other people are. Okay. But it's key to remember that everyone's relationship with the Lord is different. Not everyone is going to walk the same, talk the same, have the same testimony. Everyone's walk is unique because everyone has a different intimate relationship with God. Okay, that was a lot to take in. Let me break it down. Okay, like I said, we're talking about the story of Joseph. In the story of Joseph, there is a lot of jealousy. What did he do that I'm trying to acknowledge? He told his brothers his dream. So think of jealousy, telling his brother his dream, um, and then the appearance, the transformation. Those are three things I want you to just keep in mind. Where am I going with this? There was jealousy. He told his brother his dreams, which is where we learned that sometimes you got to be quiet. Now, let me put this all together and include an appearance. Regardless, this is appearance, regardless of what the Lord is going to do in your life, there are going to be jealous people in your life that would rather see you in the place where you are down and out in a dark abyss and have no one to rely on than they would rather see you succeed. And so sometimes you got to understand that it is best to be quiet than it is to tell everybody what the Lord is doing in your life. The Lord is favoring you, the Lord is blessing you, the Lord is doing something in your life that other people won't be able to understand. I remember someone saying something about um looking at the relationship or the things that God is doing in other people's life compared to theirs. You can't live a life in comparison. You can't look and see what God is doing in somebody else's life. And that's what those jealous people are doing to you. They see the favor God has in your life and they're wondering, why am I not getting what they have? Why do I not have what they got going on? Why can't I get what what they have going on in their life, what the Lord is doing in their life? Why don't I have that? Right? And so these jealous people would rather put you down and try to get you back in that place you used to be because they're getting nowhere. Remembering that sometimes the things that are going on in people's life is due to the relationship they have with God. We all have a different relationship with God. Our intimacy with God is different. Some of us are at a high level, some of us is at a middle level, some of us is at a beginner level. The relationship is different. And so some people are just jealous because they don't understand why God is not favoring them, why they don't have this and why they don't have that. That all is just in the type of relationship a person has with God. Some people, they just have a really good relationship with God. It all depends on how much time and effort you're putting into actually having a relationship with the Lord. Do you want the relationship with the Lord? You can't expect something. You can't be having that relationship where it's more like, I come to God when I need something. I only come to God when I need something, when I need Him. That's the only time I want to talk to Him, when I need Him. It's not I talk to God because I want to. I talk to God because I want somebody to talk to. I talk to God because I enjoy the relationship we have. I talk to God because I want to know who He is. I talk to God because I want to feel His presence. I talk to God because this is my safe place. I talk to God because this is where I want to be. I talk to God because I'd rather be in the presence of the Lord than be in the presence of this world. It all depends on that type of relationship that you build with the Lord. You can't expect to have a certain type of relationship with the Lord and you're not putting the effort in. That intimacy with God is different between everyone. Right? Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm getting way off track. Let me bring it back. At the end of the day, sometimes you just have to learn to be quiet. But Joseph felt that he had the need to tell his dream. Sometimes we feel like we have the tendency to tell somebody something, especially if we feel like it's something that needs to be said, like it's like necessary to say what it is. But sometimes we got to understand that some things that the Lord does in our life needs to be between us and the Lord. Just how I say we built that intimate relationship with God, you need to keep that intimate relationship between you and God. You don't want or need anybody to come in between that. Some people aren't there to help, some people are there to break. That's just like you might have all these people in your life that you might be calling friend, and then on the other side, you didn't even got a friend title. You probably called an associate to them, a classmate, a peer. Some of us are so eager to let people know what's going on that we forget that some people are not with us but are against us. Learn when it is the time to speak and when it's time to be quiet. Because what God is going to do in your life, some people don't need to know. And even if people see it through the appearance, through your appearance, I mean to say, they're still not going to acknowledge it. Jealousy is real and jealousy is strong. People don't want to admit the favor that God is putting on your life. And so I'm telling you right now, if you're having a conversation with someone that you call friend, and the only thing they keep referencing is you remember when you used to be like this. Oh, you remember when you used to be doing that and got in trouble? That's what you got to do. Instead of doing this, you need to start doing this. Some people just aren't meant to be in your life. And sometimes, like I said, you just need to learn to be quiet. Learn to be quiet. Learn to minimize your circle. Learn to pick those people who pick you up. And just learn to choose people who are adding to you and pouring into you as you are adding and pouring into them. Meet people who are benefiting you, that are drawing you closer to the Lord, and that are acknowledging that relationship and helping and supporting in that relationship and asking you to do the same. I don't know if this message made sense. I'm probably going to redo this video anyways, but this is just to get the general idea of what it is I'm trying to say. And I just hope this came out the way that I expected it to. Um, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta be. Sometimes you gotta learn to be quiet. Sometimes your right hand don't have to know what your left hand is doing. Let that be the same thing. Sometimes people don't need to know what you got going on in your life. They don't need to know the blessings, the opportunities, the doors that open. They don't need to know your personal things, your secretive situations. Sometimes you just got to keep it to yourself because that'll be the only thing people are going to be bringing up. If a person would rather see you down and out than succeed, I hope you know what it is to do or what you should be doing. Sometimes just learn to be quiet. I love you all, but God loves you more. Have a blessed day.